Russell, a friend of Sarah Ferguson, has revealed that she's on the cusp of a nervous breakdown as her daughters are being dragged into the scandal over her association with Jeffrey Epstein.
Behind the ivy-covered gates of Royal Lodge, the mood has turned somber. Once filled with laughter, clinking glasses, and the echoes of privilege, the halls now carry only the sound of footsteps and whispers. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, the woman once known for her fiery optimism and relentless charm, is said to be on the edge of collapse. Those close to her say she's spiraling, lost between regret and denial, fear and fury. And this time, there may be no way back. To the outside world, Sarah Ferguson has always been a survivor, a woman who could turn scandal into opportunity, ridicule into reinvention. For decades, she outlasted mockery, divorce, and disgrace, always emerging with a new smile, a new book, a new cause. But according to friends, that unshakable resilience has finally run dry. One longtime friend told The Telegraph she's not coping, she's frightened, angry, and deeply lost. This feels different from anything before. Behind closed doors, sources describe late-night pacing, tearful phone calls, and a home filled with unopened boxes. A visual reminder of the life that's slipping through her hands. At 64, Sarah is facing not just another scandal, but the collapse of the myth she built, the myth of the indestructible Duchess.
Of course, this situation has affected Sarah Ferguson. She's been forced to relinquish her titles. I think it's quite unfortunate, that we have to discuss people's mental health in all of this, because it will no doubt take a huge effect on.
According to palace insiders, the tipping point began quietly, with whispers about money, influence, and the ghosts of past associations. For years, Sarah maintained that she'd cut all ties with Jeffrey Epstein after his first conviction. But recently resurfaced communications suggest otherwise. An apologetic email, reportedly sent by Ferguson herself, reignited the scandal she thought she'd buried. In that message, she appeared to thank Epstein for his kindness and support. Words that, once leaked, shattered what remained of her public image. The backlash was swift. ITV backed away from a proposed documentary deal. Book publishers went silent. Even her once lucrative speaking engagements dried up overnight. One insider described the fallout as financially catastrophic. "She's used to bouncing back," said a former member of her staff, "but she's never faced isolation like this. It's like the world finally stopped forgiving her."
After 4 years of research, after 4 years of looking into this woman, and who is, to you, Sarah Ferguson?
Well, Sarah Ferguson is a woman of great charm, great ability, a woman who could do a lot of good, has a great empathetic feel for particularly deprived children.
Inside Royal Lodge, the atmosphere is suffocating. The 30-room mansion, which she shared with her disgraced ex-husband, Prince Andrew, has become, as one friend put it, a tomb of memories and mistakes. The walls are lined with portraits of happier times, Sarah beaming at charity galas, laughing with the late queen, holding her daughters as toddlers in the palace gardens. But now, those memories haunt her. Andrew, stripped of royal duties and honors, is reportedly retreating deeper into isolation. Sources close to the household claim he spends long stretches locked away, playing video games and avoiding phone calls. Meanwhile, Sarah drifts from room to room, clutching her phone, waiting for calls that never come. One housekeeper told a friend that unopened Amazon boxes line the hallways, like ghosts of a life that used to be busy. And perhaps most strikingly, the staff who once filled the estate have dwindled to a skeleton crew. "There's an eerie stillness now," said a former aide. "It feels like the aftermath of a storm, except the storm hasn't passed." For years, Royal Lodge symbolized defiance, Andrew's refusal to downsize, and Sarah's insistence that she belonged near the royal orbit. But that illusion is crumbling. Under mounting financial pressure, King Charles has reportedly urged Andrew to vacate the property and move into the much smaller Frogmore Cottage. A bitter irony, given that it was once occupied by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Those close to Sarah say the thought of leaving Royal Lodge has pushed her to breaking point. "She's terrified," said one confidant. "It's not just about the house. It's what it represents: stability, identity, a link to the life she used to have. Boxes are being packed, valuables appraised, decades of possessions, designer dresses, old letters, keepsakes, are being sorted piece by piece." One insider described the scene as tragically poetic. "She built her life around this place," they said. "Now she's watching it vanish in slow motion." Outside the palace walls, Sarah's silence has been deafening. Gone are the cheerful TV interviews, the upbeat Instagram posts about self-empowerment, and the children's books promoting kindness and resilience. Her latest release, Flora and Fern, has been quietly delayed twice. A spokesperson for her publisher cited logistical adjustments, but insiders confirm what many already suspected. No one wants to associate their brand with scandal. "She's been toxic before," said a former PR advisor, "but this time it feels final." Even the royal family's typically polite distance has turned into cold indifference. While Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie are said to be supporting their mother privately, senior royals are reportedly keeping their distance. "They're sympathetic, of course," said a source close to the palace, "but they won't risk being dragged into this. The family's tolerance for chaos has run out." Behind the scenes, it's her daughters who are said to be most concerned. Princess Beatrice, now a mother herself, has reportedly urged Sarah to step back, get help, and rebuild privately. "Bea has always been the peacemaker," says one friend, but she's genuinely worried this time. Her mother isn't just stressed, she's unraveling. Eugenie, too, has allegedly grown distant. Living abroad part-time with her husband, Jack Brooksbank, she's been described as protective but exhausted. "They love their mother deeply," said a royal watcher, "but they're realizing they can't keep saving her from herself." Behind palace walls, the dynamic has shifted. The daughters who once relied on their mother's strength are now the ones trying to hold her together. And for Sarah, a woman who has always defined herself through motherhood, that reversal has been devastating. Desperate to regain control, Ferguson has reportedly hired a new team of image consultants, experts in crisis management, known for rehabilitating disgraced public figures. Their strategy was simple: rebrand Sarah as a symbol of female resilience, focusing on charity, motherhood, and personal growth. But according to those inside the effort, the plan is already failing. "You can't sell empowerment when the public sees denial," said one consultant familiar with the project. "Her narrative doesn't match her reality." Every attempt at a comeback, from wellness podcasts to social media initiatives, has been met with mockery or silence. Even her trademark humor, once her saving grace, has turned brittle. "She's lost her sparkle," said a former aide. "It's like she doesn't believe her own script anymore." To understand Sarah's current breakdown, one must understand her history. Born into privilege, married into royalty, and cast out in disgrace, Ferguson's life has been a series of spectacular highs and equally public lows. From the infamous toe-sucking scandal of 1992 to her financial troubles, to her televised confessions about debt and self-worth, Sarah has lived almost entirely in the spotlight. And for years, that attention was her oxygen. "She needs to be seen," said a biographer who spent years studying her. "She doesn't just enjoy attention, she requires it to exist." But as that attention turns toxic, Sarah finds herself trapped. The same media that once offered her redemption now documents her unraveling, headline by headline, photo by photo. Late at night, neighbors report seeing lights flicker through the windows of Royal Lodge. "She's up all hours," said one local resident. "Sometimes you see her walking the grounds alone even after midnight." Inside, according to a friend, she keeps the television on constantly, for noise, for company. The once bustling kitchen, where staff once prepared lavish dinners and trays of tea for guests, now stands mostly silent. Her few remaining employees describe an atmosphere of dread. One called it walking on eggshells. "She'll burst into tears, then suddenly start talking about new projects," the staffer said. Then silence again. It's heartbreaking. Even the family's beloved corgis, Muick and Sandy, once symbols of continuity after the Queen's passing, have become part of the uncertainty. It's unclear whether they'll remain with Sarah, Andrew, or move with one of their daughters once Royal Lodge is vacated. "It sounds trivial," said one royal correspondent. "But for Sarah, even that detail feels like another loss." Friends describe her current state as fragile. She rarely takes calls. When she does, she repeats the same fears: financial ruin, humiliation, being forgotten. One close friend revealed, she keeps saying, "What if I just made different choices? What if I hadn't written that email?" It's become an obsession. According to multiple reports, Sarah's inner circle has urged her to seek professional help. Some even fear she's experiencing a form of delayed breakdown, years of public scrutiny finally catching up. "There's only so much humiliation one person can endure," said a source who once worked with her on a charity project. "And she's endured more than most." Many royal watchers believe the final blow came with the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Despite their complicated history, the Queen had always offered Sarah quiet protection. She ensured she could remain at Royal Lodge, allowed her continued proximity to Andrew, and provided subtle emotional support. With the Queen gone, that lifeline disappeared. The Queen was her safety net, said one insider. Charles doesn't have that same patience, and without that shield, Sarah's completely exposed. The royal institution that once tolerated her eccentricities has moved on, leaner, stricter, and less forgiving. And in this new world, Sarah Ferguson no longer fits. As moving trucks begin to appear outside Royal Lodge, it's clear this is not just a relocation. It's the end of an era. Friends say Sarah has quietly begun exploring properties abroad, possibly Italy or Portugal, where she could live without judgment. But even if she leaves Britain, one question remains. Can she escape herself? For decades, Fergie's strength was her ability to turn pain into publicity, humiliation into humor. But now, that formula feels hollow. She's running out of stories to tell, said one former business partner. People don't want another comeback. They want closure. At the heart of all this noise, the headlines, the scandals, the gossip, is a woman who once dreamed of making a difference. Her charity work, especially with children, has been genuine and tireless. Her empathy, even in her worst moments, undeniable. And yet, that same openness, that need to be loved, has left her exposed time and again. She always believed in second chances, said one friend. The tragedy is she may have finally run out of them. Today, Royal Lodge stands as a symbol of a family undone by pride and denial, a fallen prince lost in distraction, a former duchess haunted by regret, and daughters torn between loyalty and exhaustion. It's a portrait of a once glamorous dynasty now reduced to survival. For Sarah Ferguson, this is the moment of reckoning, not on red carpets or morning shows, but in silence, in the quiet realization that reinvention can't save her this time. She's finally facing herself, said a close friend, and she doesn't like what she sees. For decades, she was the Duchess who refused to disappear. But as the cameras fade, as the doors close, and as the silence deepens, one question lingers over what remains of the House of York. Is Sarah Ferguson truly fleeing the chaos or finally confronting it? If you found this video insightful, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because the story of the royals is far from over.